Our planet is home to some of the most awe-inspiring natural wonders, places so unique, so beautiful, that they almost feel like they belong on another world. But the truth is, many of them are on borrowed time. Climate change, human activity, and natural erosion are threatening to erase these treasures from the map. From ancient ice caps to lush coral gardens, this is your chance to see them before they're gone forever. Here are the top 10 natural wonders you must see before they disappear. At number 10, the Great Barrier Reef. Stretching over 2,300 kilometers along Australia's northeast coast, the Great Barrier Reef is the largest coral reef system on Earth, a living masterpiece so vast it's visible from space. Home to more than 1,500 species of fish, 400 types of coral, and countless marine creatures, it has long been a global icon of natural beauty and biodiversity. Its vibrant coral gardens, crystal-clear waters, and diverse wildlife draw millions of visitors each year, making it one of the most celebrated natural wonders on the planet. Yet beneath the surface, the reef is in crisis. Rising ocean temperatures, fueled by climate change, have triggered mass coral bleaching events that strip the reef of its brilliant colors and weaken its ability to recover. Water pollution from agricultural runoff, overfishing, and coastal development further compounds the damage. Scientists warn that without drastic reductions in greenhouse gas emissions, large portions of the reef could become functionally dead within decades. The Great Barrier Reef's decline is more than just an environmental tragedy. It's a stark warning of the fragility of marine ecosystems worldwide. Visiting today offers a chance to witness its splendor, but also serves as a call to action to protect what remains for future generations. At number 9, the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea, famed for its hypersaline waters and unique buoyancy, sits at the lowest point on Earth's surface, about 430 meters below sea level. Its mineral-rich waters and therapeutic mud have drawn visitors for thousands of years, from ancient kings to modern tourists. The surrounding desert landscape adds to its otherworldly allure, making it a natural wonder steeped in history and culture. Yet this extraordinary lake is disappearing at an alarming rate. The Dead Sea's surface level is dropping by around 1 meter each year, caused by the diversion of water from the Jordan River, its main source, and unsustainable mineral extraction. Climate change intensifies the crisis, reducing rainfall and increasing evaporation in the already arid region. As the water retreats, dangerous sinkholes open up along the shores, swallowing roads, farmland, and buildings. If current trends continue, vast stretches of the Dead Sea could vanish within a few decades, leaving behind only salt flats where a legendary body of water once shimmered. Visiting now offers not only a chance to float in its surreal waters, but also a sobering reminder of the urgent need for regional cooperation and conservation. At number 8, the Amazon rainforest. Spanning over 5.5 million square kilometers across 9 countries, the Amazon rainforest is often called the lungs of the Earth for its vital role in producing oxygen and absorbing carbon dioxide. It's home to more than 10% of the world's known species, many of which are found nowhere else on the planet. Towering kapok trees, winding rivers, and an unparalleled variety of life make it one of the most extraordinary ecosystems on Earth. Yet, this biodiversity powerhouse is under severe threat. Deforestation from logging, agriculture, and cattle ranching is stripping away vast areas every year, while uncontrolled wildfires, often set deliberately to clear land, accelerate its destruction. Climate change exacerbates the damage, altering rainfall patterns and increasing the risk of drought, which in turn weakens the forest's ability to recover. Scientists warn that if deforestation reaches a critical tipping point, large swathes could shift into savanna, releasing massive amounts of stored carbon and drastically altering the global climate. Seeing the Amazon today is not just a journey into nature's masterpiece. It's a glimpse at a fragile treasure whose future depends on urgent conservation efforts. At number 7, Mount Kilimanjaro's glaciers. Rising majestically above the African plains, Mount Kilimanjaro is famous for its snow-capped peak, a striking sight in the middle of the tropics. But those gleaming glaciers are vanishing fast. Since 1912, over 85% of the ice has disappeared, and climate scientists warn that the remaining glaciers could be completely gone by around 2040. The reasons are complex. Higher temperatures, shifting rainfall patterns, and reduced snowfall mean the ice is simply not replenishing. For locals, this isn't just about losing a beautiful landmark. Kilimanjaro's meltwater helps sustain ecosystems and communities below. If these glaciers vanish, it will alter water availability, tourism, and the region's climate balance forever. At number 6, the Maldives. A tropical paradise of white sand beaches and turquoise lagoons, the Maldives is also one of the world's most vulnerable nations to climate change. Comprising over 1,000 low-lying islands, with an average elevation of just 1.5 meters above sea level, it is on the front lines of rising oceans. Scientists warn that by the end of this century, large parts of the Maldives could be submerged if current sea level rise trends continue. Saltwater intrusion is already affecting freshwater supplies, and coastal erosion threatens infrastructure and livelihoods. While the country is investing heavily in sea walls, floating structures, and sustainable tourism, the fate of this island nation hangs on the world's ability to curb global warming. At number 5. Venice. The floating city has enchanted visitors for centuries with its winding canals, ornate bridges, and stunning architecture. But Venice is now fighting for its survival against a dual threat: rising sea levels and more frequent, severe flooding events. The city has always battled acqua alta, seasonal high tides, but climate change is making them more intense and unpredictable. In 2019, Venice experienced its second highest tide in recorded history, submerging iconic landmarks like St. Mark's Basilica and causing millions in damage. Massive engineering projects like the Meuse flood barrier aim to protect the city, but experts warn that without aggressive climate action, even these defenses may not be enough. Venice could one day become a living museum, visited only in history books rather than in person. At number 4. The Aral Sea. Once the fourth largest lake in the world, the Aral Sea was a thriving hub for fishing, biodiversity, and local communities. In the 1960s, Soviet irrigation projects diverted their main tributaries, the Amu Darya and Syr Darya, to grow cotton in the surrounding deserts. The result was nothing short of catastrophic. Within just a few decades, the lake shrank to a fraction of its former size, splitting into smaller bodies of water and leaving behind vast stretches of salt-encrusted desert. This environmental collapse destroyed the fishing industry, poisoned the soil with wind-blown salt and agricultural chemicals, and even altered the region's climate. Efforts to partially restore the northern portion of the sea through the Koch Aral Dam have seen some success, but most experts agree that the full Aral Sea will never return to its original glory, a haunting reminder of how quickly human activity can devastate an ecosystem. At number 3. The Alps glaciers. Stretching across 8 countries, the Alps are home to some of Europe's most breathtaking glaciers. But these icy giants are retreating at an unprecedented pace. Since the 19th century, they've already lost more than half their volume, and in just the past 2 decades, melting has accelerated due to rising global temperatures. Scientists warn that by the end of the century, many of these glaciers could vanish entirely, leaving only small remnants high in the peaks. This loss isn't just a blow to Europe's natural beauty. It threatens freshwater supplies for millions of people, impacts hydroelectric power production, and disrupts ecosystems that have adapted to the cold alpine environment. Ski resorts and mountain communities that depend on winter tourism are already feeling the effects, as snow seasons grow shorter and less predictable. The Alps' disappearing glaciers stand as one of the clearest signs of climate change in action. Before we reveal the final 2 entries on our list, it's worth recognizing a few other incredible natural wonders that are also in danger. While they didn't make the official top 10, these places are equally breathtaking and equally at risk of disappearing if we don't act. The Everglades, USA. This vast wetland in Florida is one of the most unique ecosystems on Earth, home to endangered species like the Florida panther and manatee. Urban development, pollution, and water diversion have reduced it to half its original size, making restoration efforts a race against time. The Great Blue Hole, Belize. A stunning marine sinkhole and diver's paradise, its fragile coral and marine life are under threat from climate change, overfishing, and pollution. Warming oceans risk bleaching their coral and altering its delicate ecosystem forever. Patagonia's glaciers, Argentina, and Chile. This wild, remote region boasts some of the fastest retreating glaciers in the southern hemisphere. Ice loss here could drastically alter global sea levels and disrupt regional weather patterns. Komodo National Park, Indonesia. Famous for the Komodo dragon, this UNESCO site faces threats from climate change, poaching, and unsustainable tourism. Rising sea levels also endanger its coastal habitats. Madagascar's rainforests, Madagascar. Home to species found nowhere else on Earth, these forests are vanishing due to slash-and-burn agriculture, illegal logging, and mining. Many species could disappear before they are even discovered. At number 2, the Sundarbans. The Sundarbans is the largest contiguous mangrove forest in the world, sprawling across the delta where the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers meet the Bay of Bengal. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is a labyrinth of tidal waterways, mudflats, and small islands, home to an astonishing array of wildlife, including the iconic and endangered Bengal tiger, saltwater crocodiles, and rare Irrawaddy dolphins. But its survival is hanging by a thread. Rising sea levels, intensified cyclones, and coastal erosion are already swallowing sections of the forest. At the same time, human encroachment and deforestation are degrading its unique ecosystems. Scientists warn that without urgent conservation measures, much of this irreplaceable mangrove wilderness could vanish within decades, taking its biodiversity, natural storm protection, and cultural heritage with it. At number 1, Antarctica's Larsen Ice Shelf. Stretching along the eastern edge of the Antarctic Peninsula, the Larsen Ice Shelf is a colossal floating platform of glacial ice, once one of the largest in the world. These ice shelves act like natural dams, holding back vast inland glaciers and slowing their flow into the ocean. But the Larsen system has been crumbling at an alarming rate. Larsen A disintegrated in 1995, Larsen B followed in 2002, and Larsen C lost a massive section in 2017 when an iceberg the size of Delaware broke free. The drivers are unmistakable: rising air temperatures, warming ocean currents beneath the ice, and the destabilization of Antarctic glaciers. If the remaining sections collapse, the glaciers they restrain could accelerate toward the sea, contributing significantly to global sea level rise. Scientists warn that this process is not only a sign of climate change's severity, but also a potential tipping point in Earth's climate system, one from which there may be no return. Our planet's wonders are priceless, but many face urgent threats from climate change, pollution, and human impact. Protecting them starts with us, through responsible travel, supporting conservation, and reducing our footprint. Nature has given us so much. Now it's our turn to give back. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Which of these places would you see before they're gone?